This question is on the group. I'm not going to repeat the question verbatim, simply because there might be a racial connotation to it. So I'm going to gently make certain implications, and then you're going to answer the question based on how I pose it. So my understanding of this question, if I'm correct, is that there is a foreigner, foreign national, but that seems to be illegal in South Africa, right? And they're staying in this person's mother's house. And it sounds like it was his brother that gave them permission, but without the mother's agreement. And now they've given notice to this individual, and it says due to police. So that's where we made the assumption. So I apologize if we interpreted the question correctly, but that's the best we can do from the wording. So due to the police. So my understanding is the police mentioned some issue about there being an illegal foreigner there. And what do we do if he refuses to move?
So it's, I must say, Bruno, I think the trickiest part of this question is to figure out what the question actually is. So if we interpret it incorrectly, the answer is obviously going to be incorrect. So please just listen to the way we phrase the question before you apply the answer. But
sure.
The thing is, if it's a foreign national that is illegally in South Africa, the thing is, if the police is already aware of this, the chances that they're going to deport this person is pretty high, which makes eviction much easier. But because I've seen that, Bruno, especially if you do big evictions and you have the sheriff go through with the police prior to commencement of the eviction, there could be a few deportations, and this specifically the country we're talking about. I know we will comfortably deport to that particular country. So there are countries that we won't easily deport the citizens or neighboring countries. We're not that big on deportation, but if you're further out, slightly higher north, the chances of deportation is higher. So that's the one thing. I would probably not just look at eviction here. I would actually approach the Department of Home Affairs first and say, okay, but here is the situation. My brother brought this friend, and now the friend is clearly overstayed his welcome, not just in our house, but also in South Africa, and go to the Department of Home Affairs and see if they're aware of the situation, because yes, the police is very much involved there. But the Department of Home Affairs, obviously the ones making the calls on who can be in the country and who can't be in the country. So that's an important one. But let's say all of that falls on deaf ears. Nobody feels like helping today. The police says, the more the merrier. The Department of Home Affairs says, at least we have friends. Let's just be grateful for what we have. Then you can evict. Remember, we can evict a foreign national exactly as we would a local person. So it doesn't matter. Locus standi is relevant when it comes to the applicant, but the respondent can be anybody. Even if we don't know exactly who we're evicting, we can still evict that person. PI does allow, the Prevention of Illegal Evictions Act, and does allow a person who's being evicted to come to court, tell your entire story so we understand your personal circumstances, so the court can make an order that is just and equitable. So that's not a crisis. What I would do is I would keep all the correspondence proper in writing. So a notice to vacate. So do a notice and say, you know what, it's been lovely having you. You do, stack up the dishes a little, but it was lovely to have you here. Unfortunately, we can't live like this forever. So I'm giving you until the 3rd of September, or whatever the case might be, to vacate. if you don't vacate, sadly, we're going to have to evict you. It's going to be a wild experience, you know, really experiencing the South African way of an eviction. It's also a nice tour then of the country to pass through a court. That's a good one. But you're still going to do a normal eviction there. So I would be very reluctant to do something weird and wonderful and out of the lines of our legal limits, especially because it's a foreign national. If we don't understand another country's laws and the relationship between that country and South Africa, I would be very reluctant to pull a cowboy move in any eviction, but even more so in one like this. So I would probably recommend, if the notices doesn't work, if the police isn't of assistance, if the Department of Home Affairs is not of assistance, I would do a normal eviction. Paul, Bruno, or myself will definitely be able to help you out.
No, totally.
I think
agree.
it's the same as any other eviction, Bruno. Sadly,
Sure.
it's
Exactly.
much of the muchness.
Exactly. Yeah.